official VoidDweller podcast. Let me see if this will fit up here. No, there's no way. Okay. Normally, I feel like most normal people would just put this into some sort of post. But I'm not fucking normal. So, I have decided to record some sort of update and put it out on the B side or A side, I guess, depending on how you feel about it, of this noise tape or what have you. I meant to make an outline of this and completely fucking forgot. Completely did. Just not good. Probably should have done that. Probably gonna fucking ramble on a lot and not make a lot of sense. But that's okay, because I'm allowed to do that. So, first things first, I think this year, 2022, is probably just gonna be like several EPs. Probably not going to be a full length this year, because I did 2 last year. I like making full length albums, but it seems like it's a lot of work for no reason but less response, because they're really long and people have like lives and shit, so they can't just like sit and listen to an hour-long album. Or like that's difficult. I appreciate everybody that does that. I know that's not everybody. I like listening to albums, but I know it's more convenient for people to just like listen to a fucking 20-minute EP. So I think I'm gonna try and do more of those. I'm gonna try and get some more shit on Spotify, even though I fucking hate Spotify, because it sucks and it's oppressive, and also their CEO, Daniel Eck, or whatever the fuck his name is, spent a shitload of money on like AI, like military AI to bring democracy wherever. So fuck Spotify, and they give me shit about samples, and I don't like it, because my shit is all samples. Usually, I'm gonna try and do some more shit that isn't samples this year. We'll see how it goes. Hoping to have like more of a consistent output. I have one EP done that is like a weird release. I don't want to give too much of this away, but I have one. It's like 15 minutes long EP done. It's on like weird, non-standard release format. Like people have done it or whatever. It's not unheard of, but it's weird. And I don't have the shit to make it, and I don't want to buy the shit that it takes to make it, so I'm getting it done through like a couple of labels. So I don't know that when that comes out is more dependent on them, because it's fucking done. But I don't want to drop it without the merch, because I feel like that's pretty important with the thing to release them at the same time. So that's done. That's coming out at some point. I have a bunch of remixes that they're in various states of doneness. I did there were a couple remix comps I was on, and I'm not including those. I have a couple other ones of just like random shit that I did that I need to finish writing and recording vocals for. They're like done, they're like produced, done, but I just haven't finished them up, so hopefully those will come out at some point. Maybe I'll do like a little odds and ends EP or something with all those on it. I don't really know. I'm not really planning on playing a whole lot of shows this year. I'm probably going to play like a couple more, just because COVID's fucked up my live show rig, which is just a bunch of fucking speakers all rigged together, all fucked up. That's kind of fucked up. One of the speakers, the amp head, is old. It's like from the 70s, and it's not grounded right. So instead of like on the power plug-in cable, there's usually three prongs, and then the one that's like down underneath the other two is the ground. This one does not have a ground, so it's not fucking grounded in the power plug, and I think the capacitor in it that's supposed to ground it normally with the 2 plugs is bad. So that means it's basically not fucking grounded. So if you touch it, like if it's on and you touch it, you get shocked. I haven't had any problems running running a mixer and other shit into it, getting shocked or anything yet, but it makes me very nervous, and I don't want to keep using it. If I can stop using it, I would like to stop using it. So I'm gonna try and get some other amp head thing for that, and I want to get just better speakers in general, because like this shit works, like it's loud enough, but it sounds kind of shitty. So it gets the job done, but it don't get the job done well. And to get, the shit that I would like is hell money for me. I have to figure out some way to get a van to figure around, to huck it around everywhere, and then I can actually like start touring for real, which is something I really want to do. But I don't know if it's going to happen this year or not. I imagine it's probably not going to happen this year. Like I can, right now as things are, I could probably do like a weekender or something. But I'm also going to try and start, like I'm going to have a normal person job or whatever, because I have to make money to buy the fucking van and the other shit. So I'm going to have to work around that. And with COVID and shit, like, probably not a good idea to be playing too many shows in the first place. So I'm not really going to be campaigning on that real hard. Probably not going to put as much music out this year as I would like to, but I have unrealistic expectations of myself. When it comes to like how much shit I can put out in a year, because I feel like I should just constantly be working on stuff, and that's not normal. Especially when normal projects, like bands and shit too, just drop like one full length every couple of years, maybe if they're lucky. But if I don't put out like shit every month, I feel weird about it. Like I dropped a whole, like a fucking hour-long record in October, and now I'm like, oh, I haven't put anything out. So that's not, my brain don't work right with that. But I have a couple of like little EP ideas or whatever, just kicking around that I have to like actually sit down and make. I've been feeling I would do it, because right now I'm unemployed, which is fucking sick. But I would sit down and do it right now, but I've been feeling really strange. I have like a migraine Friday. I get it's like migraines with auras where you get like a weird thing in your vision and you get like a headache. And I've been, ever since, I've just felt kind of weird and dissociaty and like not, just kind of strange, right? And looking at screens and electronics and shit makes it worse. So I've been avoiding looking at screens, which is not good, because everything is on a fucking screen. Like, I make music entirely on fucking screens, and live my life entirely on fucking screens. So it's been kind of shit the past, I don't know, almost a week or so. I've just felt real strange. Otherwise, I would be working on some of that shit right now. But I think that's everything that I really need to talk about. I have, I guess I'll go into a couple more things. I have like a collab thing that I'm working on with somebody that is a multi-format release. I guess I'll give that part up. It's a multi-format release, one of which is going to be, part of it is going to be involving vinyl. So I have no fucking idea. First of all, I don't know when that's going to get done. I'm not in a huge rush to get it done. I don't think either of us are, which is fine, because I don't need more shit to hurry on about. Neither of us are in a huge rush about it. Getting vinyl actually pressed, even though I don't think we're going to do that, I think we're just going to get lathes, because lathes is easier, and there's no way we're going to sell like enough copies of it to warrant it being actually pressed. Getting vinyl pressed fucking sucks. It takes like months. I have no idea. I don't even know if that's going to come out this year. I would like for it to come out this year. I have no idea. And it's not even that long either, is the thing. Like, it's just making vinyl is really fucked up. Other than that, I think I'm going to try and do some more tapes. Like 20, I don't know. Maybe I'll get C40s and just do single-sided. That seems kind of easy. But I have a weird thing about filling up media that I buy. It makes me feel weird to buy, to not use. Like if I'm making a CDR for myself and I don't fill up the whole thing, I feel like I wasted part of it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll still just do It's normal ass C20s. But I think for CDs, because of the thing that I just said where I'm weird about wasting space, I think for CDs I'm not going to make CDs for every fucking EP, because that seems excessive. People don't buy CDs as much, even though I really like them. It's like my favorite format. People don't buy CDs as much as tapes. So I think I'm going to get a couple of EPs like made, right, and combine like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 EPs on one CD and just sell it as like sort of an anthology thing, as opposed to making a CD for every single fucking EP. Probably make more money that way, but I wouldn't, because people don't buy CDs. I don't know. I want to get more like merch shirts made, but it's the last ones that I made that I only have like, I don't know, 3 left. I'm going to Walmart to buy mailers to mail them right now, actually, the people that have bought them. I only have like 3 shirts left, but those I printed myself, which was fun, and I liked doing it, but it was, printing it myself made it like twice as expensive as paying somebody. And they don't look as good as if I would have just paid somebody, and I don't really have the room to do shit like that. So I'm not going to do that next time, which means it's going to cost more money. So I don't know when I'm going to have shirts next. I don't know if it's going to be this year, or maybe like the end of this year, or maybe even into next year. At some point, I do want to do more shirts. But other than that, and maybe a couple other random merch things, I can't forecast that far, because a lot of that's dependent on what my financials look like, and that's super, for everybody, but especially me, it's super in the fucking air right now. So I don't have that in the works. I just have vague plans for that. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Walmart and buy these things. Maybe I'll think about something else to talk about when I get back. I haven't decided if I'm going to just try to talk for 45 fucking minutes on this side, or I'm going to do a little bit of this and then a little bit of noise. I'm sure you'll fucking know, because you'll be listening to it. But yeah, it's a fucking intermission. I'll be back. It won't be for you, but it is for me. There was a guy in front of me at Walmart that was buying all he had, 1 bag of oranges. Not sure why. I don't know what would necessitate going to Walmart and only purchasing 1 bag of oranges. Like, I get it, I've done stupid shit like that, but it was just kind of, it's funny to me still that like that's all he got was a bag of, not even been grapefruits. It probably was grapefruits. They were big enough. I had some other shit to say before I got into the mindless rambling of talking about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, so I can fill out the rest of this fucking tape. I think it was just like, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that's bought anything, especially you, if you're buying this, since you bought this fucking tape. Like, I have lately been surviving solely off of people buying my music, and like my merch and shit. And I mean, I live with my parents right now, which is like not incredible, but at least it's like nice for saving money. I know that's probably, maybe a little bit personal information. Let me give you my home address and my social security number, and let me tell you about every test that I've ever cheated on. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing that, which, especially in Atoma, which people know that's on everything. Especially in Atoma sucks. Like, there's fucking nobody. I have very few friends in this area that aren't like 2 hours away. I see no like real life friends pretty consistently, which is not good. And especially like, oh, I know what I was going to talk about. Especially like with the music shit, it's very hard for me to relate to people that don't have some sort of creative thing, or at least like respect it or understand it or whatever. And my whole family is basically like that. They just kind of don't get. I don't know. They've been forced to respect it because I've been doing it, but they don't get it, and that's all I see is my family. So it would be. I'm hoping to move, preferably completely out of fucking state. Like I would like to move to the East Coast eventually, because it seems like there's a lot of shows and people doing shit there. Shit's popping off there, and you can drive like an hour and go to another fucking big city. So I've never lived in a big city, so that's a little scary for me, but it's something I very clearly need to do if I'm going to get fucking anywhere at all. But the thing that sucks about like applying and working a regular job somewhere is that it's like anytime that I'm there, I just think like, fuck, I could be at home working on music right now. Like I have better shit I could be doing than being at work. Like the music shit means way more to me than working and getting money. But unfortunately, life requires you to have money to exist, especially if you live in the good old US of A, as I imagine most of you do. So the balance of that sucks a lot. Although I do find I kind of was almost more productive when I did have a job. I feel like because I only had so many hours like to get shit done, so I had to really be like, okay, this is all the fucking time I have. Now I'm like, I can work on shit tomorrow, I can work on shit in 10 minutes. It's like wherever. I haven't really gotten like as much done as I could have in the amount of time that between when my last job ended and right now. I haven't gotten near as much done as I could have. But I also did just release a full-length album, so it's like, what was I going to do? Make a whole nother full-length album and drop it in February? Like, that's dumb. So that's what's frustrating about that. It's not that I don't want to work or like whatever. It's that I would rather be working on music stuff. But sometimes finding the discipline to do that, especially living where I'm at, the living situation I have right now is difficult. Sometimes, because I prefer to work in like long sessions. I prefer to like open something and like basically work on it until it's done. Like 8-hour long stretches of working on shit until I'm finally like, okay, my ears are burning out, I need to go do something else. But I prefer, oh my god, my fly was open the whole time I was in Walmart. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go, that's real raw and unfiltered for you. Walk around with my fucking fly down all day. But I forgot what I was talking about. I got so pissed off my files. But it just, I don't know. It's strange because like I don't want to overwhelm people. I feel like I'm kind of in danger of doing that almost already, but you also have to put shit out like consistently, otherwise people kind of forget. Luckily, I mean, like, I post such dumb shit on Twitter all the time. I don't think that people, like, Twitter's probably the best platform that I'm on, or like where I have the most quote-unquote reach or whatever, like that fucking matters at all. And I post on there about stupid shit all the time, because that's what Twitter's for. But I also feel like I could be more consistent in releasing music so that I pretty much always have something to be like, hey, this is pretty new. Because even Employee, the last full length, came out in October, which is, October, November, December, January. That's like 3 or 4 months since it came out. And, in internet years, that means it's dead. I think I read once the shelf life of a tweet is like 20 minutes. Which is insane. just sucks. I really like making full-length albums, but it's really, sometimes it's disheartening to like work on shit for 6 or 7 months and then put it out and people are like, aha, this is too long. I try to make it so that Employee was listenable in like chunks, like 15-minute long chunks, so you can listen to it like 4 EPs if you wanted to. But I think still just even like the length, even not breaking it up, just intimidates people or something. So I don't know, everybody liked to come, and that was only like a half an hour long. Which I was like, I didn't even want to call that a full length. I wanted to call that like an EP or something. But everybody's like, no, that's a full length album, dude. Because I don't really write. My songs aren't like super long, but they aren't really short either. I know a lot of like, I hate to use this term, but a lot of the like SoundCloud rapper, sort of that type of thing, and their songs are really short. They're getting to be like maybe a minute 30, which is really punk and cool, but it's just like the beat starts, you do like one kind of long verse and like maybe half-ass a hook, and then it's over. I'm always just like, this needs to be twice as long because it's good. Like if the song's good, you can make it longer and it's fine. Or do that, but I don't really make a lot of like. Very rarely does a track surpass like 3 or 4 minutes if I'm working on it. I really gotta have some shit to say to make a track like 3 or 4 minutes. I think the Headboard collab on Employee, VoidDweller and Headboard team up to give Tucker Carlson a wedgie so hard it splits him in half from Gooch to scalp. I think that one's like 5 minutes long, and that one was really, I was like, I cannot believe we managed to make this fucking track 5 minutes long. The Christmas track, Military Industrial Christmas Complex and Suck My Dick from the Back 2021 Christmas track was also like 5 minutes long, but that's because it's a sludge track, and those just kind of naturally balloon in length really bad. When you play slow, it's a lot easier to make shit long, I think. So, I don't know where I was going with that. Like I said, I'm just kind of going off. I'm just kind of talking. It was... I was very sort of hesitant about Tongue because I didn't know... I was like, are people really going to want to buy an album on Condom? Like, that seems kind of silly. Like, I thought people would not. Like, I was just like, oh, it's just a novelty thing or whatever, but like, it sold way more than I thought it would. So I think I'm gonna try and maybe do more shit like that. I try to make releases that like basically like market themselves. If you pitch, like if you say like, yeah, they made a whole record on a fucking cell phone, you kind of naturally want to be like, okay, well, I kind of want to see what the fuck that sounds like. Or like, it's a record entirely about sex and it's only released on Condom, that you scan the condom and it takes you to the album. You're probably going to be like, okay, I kind of want to see what that is. So I've been trying to make shit like that. I don't really do that for Employee, because I just wanted to go off and make some tracks. I haven't done that in a minute. Everything was kind of like weirdly concept release. I have a habit of falling into that, which is not necessary, and just overcomplicate shit really bad. So it was nice to just be like, I'm just gonna make an album. I'm not even gonna trip about the rest of it. I'm just gonna make a record. Fuck it. Like, it's all loosely connected or whatever, but that's only because like that's what I wanted to write about at the time. Like, it's all capitalism bad type shit, but that's because that's just where I was at mentally and what I wanted to write about. It would have been weird to write about anything else at the time. It would have felt like I was forcing it. So that's why it's kind of like thematically, I don't know, consistent or whatever, but that's just because that's what I feel like I have to talk about. I'm not really, I can only do so many boo-hoo, I'm sad and alone tracks before I'm like, I have to write about something else. I guess that was that record. There's not really a whole lot of boo-hoo, I'm sad on that, I don't think. If I think about it. I haven't listened to that record in like probably a couple months. Maybe I haven't sat down and listened to the whole thing since it's dropped. But it's because like I spent so long with those tracks. I spent like the whole time I was working on that record, I was listening to those tracks on repeat. So now that it's done, I'm like, well, I don't really want to listen to it anymore. I would rather, listen to something else. That's another thing I'm hoping to work on this year, is listening to more other people's music and not just listening to only my own music, because I have a bad habit of not checking new shit out. Like I don't keep on top of stuff at all, because I'm either listening to just like random old shit that I want to listen to, or I'm listening to my own music, like car testing my own shit. I think I'm gonna have to take a Zyrtec D when I get home. My fucking sinuses are fucked. Because right now it's like 50 degrees, and then in like 2 days it's going to be like 10 degrees. Because the Midwest is a fucking hellhole. It alternates between being Arctic polar cold and the fucking Sahara Desert in the summer. It's not, at no point is it ever, like maybe you might look out and we'll get a week of spring. There's usually like a week of spring and a week of fall, and then fall weirdly drifts into winter, and winter doesn't really start until about January or February. February is usually when it gets really snowy and shitty out. That's when we usually get fucked. We haven't really gotten a lot of snow yet, but we're not that far into January. I fucking hate it here, dude. I hate it here so much. I hate it here, but I haven't worked out where to, I don't got the money to leave yet. And that's on the fucking agenda. Because in the winter, it'll be like fucking negative 20 with the wind chill or whatever, and then in the summer it gets up to like 110. Like, for fuck's sake, can't it just be one extreme or the other? Like, at least people in like fucking colder climates or warmer climates, their summer might be like literally so hot it'll kill you, but then their winter, the whole winter is like mild. Here it's the worst of both fucking extremes. It's like there's no fucking respite or peace here at all. You get like maybe 2 weeks a year if you're lucky. It's terrible. Fuck. What else is there to talk about? Fucking VoidDweller shit. I can't really think of anything right now. Oh, I was talking to a friend about how I think it's April 17th or something. April 2020 will be the 5-year anniversary of Null Void. And it'll actually be like the 6th anniversary of VoidDweller as a project, because I made a couple records. This is very classified fucking information. But I made a self-titled in 2016, and then I made another mixtape shortly after that, maybe a couple like singles or whatever that year. But I have retconned everything I made in 2016 because it was not at all like what I'm doing now, and it was not really what I wanted to make to begin with. Like, I was kind of challenging myself to not make crazy music. I really just wanted to make shit that fucking sounded like Death Grips, like fucking crazy ass, noisy, because I was listening to a lot of Death Grips at the time. And then I got in, my friend showed me Blackie, and I was like, oh fuck, I can actually do this like as one person, just with a bunch of giant speakers, and I don't need a band, I can just do it all myself, holy shit. So that's when I actually was like, okay, I'm gonna fucking do it. But prior to that, I was like, I'm gonna challenge myself and try to make like a non-abrasive, just kind of normal, like rap album, like something that I can show like my family or whatever. And then I never did that. I never did that at all. But that was my thought process with that. And it's not a bad record, but it just doesn't feel like me. Neither of them really do. They're just super early, like not fully developed, like I wasn't really going for it. Like Null Void was when I was finally like, okay, I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna make whatever the fuck I want to make, and scream and yell, and motherfuckers can deal with it. But the first year of the project, I didn't do that at all, which is why I've kind of like, technically, it only started in 2017 is like the current iteration, and there was like a year or whatever. There's like a weird buffer year. So it's technically 6 years, but really only 5. And that's fucked up to think about. It's really weird. Like, shit, February is going to be the 1 year anniversary of Come, and it don't feel like it's been that long since I worked on that. That was really strange. I guess it's been even longer since I worked on it, because it was done. It was done before, like right before it came out. What was nice about that is that like I could make the QR code that was going to go on the condom, and then I had up until the fucking condom showed up to get shit done for it, because the QR code just links to a Google Drive folder, and I could put whatever the fuck I wanted in that Google Drive folder until it was time to upload it to like Bandcamp and get everything else squared away. So I worked on that like probably 2 years ago now. What would that be, 2020? Maybe? No, it would be like the end of 2019. That's really fun. It's weird to think about all this shit too, like, because they don't feel like that long ago. If you you say 5 years and you're like, oh yeah, that feels like a long time ago, but maybe it's just because I don't remember a lot about making it, but I remember kind of like where I was at physically and like mentally and emotionally when I like each thing that I've made. Just I kind of view releases as a way to like mark periods of time. So you have like the no void era and then the illegal content era, which is mad underrated, and I don't know why more people don't listen to it or know about it, because it's like one of my favorite things I've ever done. It was only like the second like legit thing that ever came out. Maybe I'll make something that I like as much as that this year, but the concept and just the way all of that came together, I guess, like, for the record, I can explain that a little bit more. I bought 40 CDs at Goodwill back when the Goodwill wasn't fucking trash, because I don't have shit right now. I keep looking and I'm like, every time I'm like, I need to just stop coming. But I bought 40 CDs from Goodwill, and I ripped them all onto my computer, and I made an EP using only samples from those 40 CDs, right? So I couldn't use any sounds that weren't on any of the CDs. And it was like an EP about the 7 sins, and each of the tracks is named after like the 7 Dukes of Hell or whatever that correspond to each sin, what have you. It's like loosely formatted around Dante's Inferno, going in what sins are like the worst, like going from the least bad to most bad. And the way all of that just came together is very like satisfying and interesting to me. And I just haven't quite done a project like that since. And it's only like 20 minutes long. If you haven't listened to it, you should, because it's really good. I have some like shitty bootleg tapes that I made because the only time I've ever made tapes for illegal content is when I can find those big fucking Bible on tape sets at Goodwill's. So I'll buy those, and then I'll fucking make like 40 copies of illegal content and a bunch of other bullshit on the end of them, because it's only a fucking 20-minute long EP, and those tapes are always like C90s. So there's like illegal content, and then there's like all the beats that were going to go on illegal content that I didn't end up using that are also on like the B side of it, and like some other shit too. So there was that, and then I don't know what the next thing that I made was. I would have to look. There's a lot of weird. I'm trying to do more like singles and stuff. I wish I had more ideas for like music video stuff. I have very few visual ideas, and even if I do have those ideas, I don't have anybody to help film me, so I have to figure out a way to do them all myself, which is not it's at the point where I'm just like, okay, I just won't even focus on it. I'll just work on the music part instead, because why the fuck? Like, people seem to like them or whatever, but they don't. I don't know. I would just rather make an EP or something, like, instead of doing the shitload of work that music videos usually are, unless you have like a very good concept that you can just do either by yourself or with one other person, like, and that's it. Like, the best music video I've ever done is probably, I think I only have maybe two, or maybe just two. I got one for Snakes, which is the best one that I've ever done, and then I did another one for Names and Locations of 100 people killing the planet or whatever, where I lit the globe on fire, which was cool, to buy a globe specifically to light on fire. That's the extent of the fucking music video budget. It was $20 to buy a globe. But I just don't have a lot of ideas where I'm like, yeah, I can just set this up by myself and film it and it'll look cool. So that's something that I would like to improve, or have somebody to bounce shit off of. And I don't have a very good... My computer's not good for video editing, so I can't rely on like effects and shit really either. Which sucks. I'm just not like that proficient in visual, like video, film stuff. But I would like to do a couple more just like singles this year that just aren't really on anything, that are just kind of like occasionally, like if I haven't put something out in a while, then I can drop one and just kind of be like, okay, well that's that. And it's not like a single from album, it's just a fucking single. So that's something that I would also like to do this year more. I already said I'm going to try, but I'm going to say it again, that I'm going to try and get more shit on Spotify. My issue with that is really just the sample thing. And I have to go through like a distributor that's all like mobile apps. So you do it all entirely on your phone, but it doesn't, and it's free, but it doesn't put the things on like, you know how you can search stuff on Instagram and the music will pop up? It doesn't do that, which I really don't like. So I'm thinking about, and you can't choose the date that it's going to come out. So I think I'm going to spend like, I don't know, $60 a year or whatever it is to be able to do that, because that would be a lot fucking better than having to be like, okay, put my shit on, whatever, and then I have to wait a month for it to come out, which fucking is the worst. And I'm going to try and do more things that aren't like sample based. I prefer to do that. I think that's more interesting. I think working with samples is a lot more interesting than generally, much more interesting than trying to produce everything like completely in a vacuum by yourself, only with like synths and stuff, because it not only makes it more interesting by making the reference to whatever you sampled, but it also gives you like a giant fucking like infinite array of sound to work with if you sample stuff. It's like playing music itself as an instrument. I love it, but I can't, with making shit to put on Spotify, you have to be really careful because they get kind of in their ass about it. The distributors do, about whatever, which I don't really fucking make any money off of that anyway, so why, you know what I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I can sample whatever I want and put it on Bandcamp and YouTube for like basically free, and then just make it name your own price, and then it's basically like a fucking donation. Like, you don't have to fucking pay for it. You can just put in $0 and download it for free. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, it's technically free, but you can pay for it if you want to. And it annoys me that Spotify is very like, no samples. I think Come has a couple of samples in it, but the only one that I can really think of, there's like a couple of samples from podcasts. There's the one from the Harsh Truth podcast, rest in peace, on Come in all sorts of cool ways or whatever. And I think I sampled Death Grips, and maybe that's it. The thing is too, there's different versions of that record. There is, the version version that you scan the condom, the QR code to get to the Google Drive folder is like the master version of that record. Like that is the way that's supposed to have gone. That's the way that you're supposed to listen to it. And then there's the YouTube version. No. So there's the scan. You scan it, and then there's the Bandcamp download, which comes with a couple bonus tracks. I think it comes with one bonus track that's really short. And then there's the YouTube version, and then which is like just the record, but it still has all the samples in it. And then there is the Spotify version. So I viewed it as like theatrical, director's cut, unrated. Like, I had to view it that way. And I can't, if you look on Employee, the samples are in the fucking beat. Like, I can't do that. I can't look on the track that's the fucking flip of the guitar from Unfortunate Name Man, Rape Man, the Rape Man monobrow guitar flip. I can't take that out of the beat. Like, the beat, it makes it so much more different. Like, it would be super empty and weird. So I can't, you know what I mean? I can't do that when I do shit like that. But when it's just like random speech samples or whatever, I can kind of get away with doing that. It's not quite so much fucking work. But it is, like, it makes it less interesting, I think. It still it still works, but it's not as cool. It's not near as cool as when you have the fucking weird samples and shit in it. Because I think weird samples and shit are fucking cool. And I might be able to do them. So I'm going to make EPs that are less sample flippy or whatever for Spotify, because people keep fucking asking me about shit on fucking Spotify, pretty much almost all of my tracks on there besides Come are about how much I fucking hate Spotify. People still ask me about it. I think I am just about out of time. This file post Walmart is like a half an hour. Pre-Walmart was like 12 minutes, so that's like 42 minutes. So okay, my bad. I don't know if my battery died or not. But yeah, so this is the last fucking thing. More EPs, couple more EPs on Spotify, hopefully, like, so that there'll be like an album's worth of material or something on there this year. But I gotta focus on getting a job and working to save up money so that I can get a van and get more shit to tour and be able to buy merch and shit like that. So there's probably not going to be as much music as last year, even though I still worked last year and whatever. But just, I guess that's the final takeaway. Thank you for buying this fucking tape. I hope you like the other side of it. There was a bunch of noise and shit that I recorded. That was also just me kind of going off. But I needed to throw up. I've had these tapes sitting around for a minute, and I wanted to get them together so that I can get them out. And I'm also really broke right now, and it kind of just seemed like a good opportunity. Plus, I enjoy the bit of the podcast only being on tape. of normal motherfuckers just put it out, but me, I'm like, nah, put the podcast on tape, sell it. I think that's it. Thanks again. Bye.